Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to Today in Bitcoin. Today is January 25th, 2017. Let's start off with Tone Vays' show, which was on a few hours before this one. He brought up the crash or the drop in volume on the Chinese exchanges that has now been going on for the last couple of days since they implemented their new rules. And I will link to his video, and I will link to a CoinDesk article. And this is revealing the real volumes, the real trading volumes of these Chinese exchanges. And I think it's great, as I stated before, that we know that, that we see the truth about China, that all the people who were preaching that 95% China controls 90% of everything Bitcoin FUD, they're proven wrong now, that we see that the volume has dropped, and they can't use that as an excuse. And Tone agrees with me that there's too much emphasis placed on China. Not that China is not a huge player, and the Chinese people are not a huge player in all this, but they're not a 90% player. Once again, we see, so when someone tries to give you some Chinese FUD, point to this video here, to Tone's video, and to this CoinDesk article that I linked to below, what's going on there now. So there's I think today people heard about President Trump. That's kind of strange saying, I haven't said that yet. President Trump is really talking about building this wall with Mexico. He signed some papers today, and he's getting serious about it, it looks like. I mean, this is not a campaign promise anymore, or a promise by the president-elect. It is the president of the United States signing stuff. So we should, Bitcoin people should wake up, and not wake up, but pay attention now, because there was no reason to pay attention. The last week, I didn't want to talk about Trump because just so many people are obsessed with him. They're wasting their lives away being obsessed with him. In the Bitcoin space, we're smart. We're dealing with our financial aspects of our life. We control our own lives. Donald Trump does not. But here we go. With this wall, though, it's going to affect some Mexican people. If he funds it the way he says he's going to fund it, he says Mexico is going to pay for it one way or the other. And the articles that I linked to talk about how, and I have mentioned this before, the remittances, that currently Mexico's biggest cash source is remittances, okay? That's a huge thing. And Donald Trump says he's going to stop those remittances if he has to, or tax those remittances. Well, if that's the biggest source of cash to Mexico by their people who live in our country, in the United States, they're going to find a way, and he really makes it illegal or he taxes it. They're going to find Bitcoin. They're going to find Bitcoin to send their stuff back home, and he will not be able to stop that. So this will be great for Bitcoin. Great for Bitcoin. So think of it. I mean, you probably have a lot of opinions about the wall and everything. Well, I'm not too worried. I am very interested in the aspect of the remittance part. How is he going to pay for it? How is this going to happen? Because he's going to be spending money all over the place. He's not a conservative that way at all. There's going to be all sorts of projects going on. And this is just another one of them. But it's very interesting how the Mexican aspect of the remittance part, this will be huge news for Bitcoin too. I mean, not only will it will spike the price of Bitcoin if he really does this in because the Mexicans, that'll be the only way to send money across the border, or they'll all go home. But they're not going to do that. They're going to find Bitcoin first, and they're going to get a way around this. And this might get Trump angry at Bitcoin, but he won't be able to do anything about it. And maybe everyone around the world will learn about Bitcoin this way and see that leaders, the most powerful, the most powerful country in the world, its leader can't stop Bitcoin, can't stop these Mexicans from sending their money back home. So let's pay attention to this in a Bitcoin way. I'm calling it the Bitcoin wall because to me, that's what it is. I mean, okay, we won't get into the other aspects of it, who's illegal, what's illegal, blah, 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 blah. We're not into politics here. We're not into the political stuff over here. We're not going to waste our time with that and marching in parades or whatever they do. All right, wearing weird hats. So, flashback here to my video, value your wealth in Bitcoin, never cash out. Think 2020. I will link to it below. And a person was asking me about people charging for their consultancy in Bitcoin. They're saying, pay, let's just give an example. Give me 0.1 Bitcoin for my work. And he's like, well, why don't give me the price in Bitcoin? Give me why your knowledge level doesn't change. The price of Bitcoin is always changing. And I explained, 1 Bitcoin is always equal to 1 Bitcoin. 0.1 Bitcoin is always equal to 0.1 Bitcoin. Some people, you're going to have to get used to this, everyone out there, that people are going to quote you prices in Bitcoin, especially in this space. We should all do that. We really should all do that. And then explain, we don't care about what it's worth in dollars. No, our level of knowledge is not changing. It's staying the same. Our price is staying the same. It is staying at 0.1 Bitcoin. It is staying at 0.2 Bitcoin. Now, you might want to adjust a little bit if there's like a massive spike, just so people don't feel like all of a sudden you're super duper expensive. Okay, I mean, you could take that into consideration. But you value 1 Bitcoin for being one. On your side, you value it for being worth 1 Bitcoin, not $3,000 or $1,000. You value it as 1 Bitcoin, as 1 Bitcoin, because you have confidence. This is the way I want to go about things. This is what I want in 2020. I know I'm going to be able to use this 1 Bitcoin I'm earning from you now in 2020 to buy your car in 2020. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Matt Easel, he comments on my videos sometimes, and he had a thought-provoking comment the other day, and I told him I was going to mention it, so I'm going to mention it now. Here's his quote. I made the prediction a while ago that Dash and Zcash hit parity at $20 or in the $20 range. That is thought-provoking. It really is thought-provoking because, Zcash was so high once. I mean, and so hyped once. And this really could happen. Zcash and Dash in this year could both get to the same price in the $20 range. And people in Dash would be pretty happy. People in Zcash, I don't know. Finally, I'll leave you with links to 2 Jethro Tull songs you can check out. Teacher and Sweet Dream. Teacher is about the gurus of the 1960s and 70s. That maybe they weren't as trustworthy as they said they were, and they weren't as honest as they made themselves out to be, or really true to themselves. And that kind of reminds me of some of these doom and gloom peddlers out there that want to be gurus, that want to be financial gurus, and some of the people who are uncompromising in the precious metals area, who want to be gurus, and they're not always as great as you think they are. They might say they're a teacher, but they might really not be teacher worthy, especially when they're not willing to change their minds, or when they're in the Jethro Tull song, they're up to bad deeds. But that's like the doom and gloom people out there, doom and gloom. The world's about to end. Meanwhile, they're just partying it up. That's kind of what that song Jethro Tull is actually, the teacher song. The guru is partying it up while everybody else is following his strict rules. All right, remember, I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disruptmeister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Don't get caught up in any sort of guru out there, even if it's not a human guru. Okay, people, not magical computer gurus too, count for that. I hope you enjoyed today in Bitcoin. I will talk to you guys later.